I do the intro. One of the most important thing, or one of the hardest thing when you start wing foiling is going upwind. So in this video, we're gonna give you all the tips we can so that you don't have to walk upwind the beach anymore.
Tune in, no walk of shame. Let's do this. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We got a lucky guest, Gwen, the man behind the camera, who's not behind the camera because he's right here with me.
I'm back.
You! All right, so today we're gonna go over a very hard part, which is you've gotten up on foil, but I'm struggling to go upwind. I'm struggling to stay in one spot. We have the answers. Let's get to it. Let's roll.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, we could even break it down because going upwind might be kind of the same, but maybe slightly different whether you are on the foil or whether you are not on the foil.
Very good. Let's start with you're not on the foil and you want to learn how to go upwind. So you're not on foil. I have the wing in my hand and I need to work on going upwind. Most important thing is when I stand on the board, 99% of the time that board's going to turn downwind when I have the wing, and you're going to start going downwind. Now, if I'm standing there, I want to take my hips, I want to push my heel or my back foot, and I want to push on this. I want to push, I want to be a little bit light on my front here, and I'm going to turn and steer this board into the wind. Relax your arms so that you depower the wing and you slowly pull in and you try to hold an angle into the wind. That is your best way, in my opinion, to slowly work your way upwind. You don't want to be pulled in all the way. You're just going to bend yourself around and start going downwind. So you're trying to feather that wing, and the higher you can have your wing, the more it lifts you kind of up and forward. Versus down here, it's just straight pull on the side. We want to have that wing nice and high so it lifts us and we just pull when we need it. My weight's a little forward, but I'm always pushing this board to stay into the wind. I'll let Gwen jump in now.
Yeah, I think back foot pressure, and what I find myself doing is like kind of like a body twist. So I always get confused with the chin and the chin, that part of your body. Yeah. Go like over my shoulder. I'm looking up, and so my body is twisting. Where if you are downwind, you might be, you know, like not totally twisted. So back foot pressure to me for sure, and then twisting the body and looking where you want to go, which is huge, because sometimes, I mean, it's like when you start biking, you just look at the front wheel, but you want to start looking the direction you want to go.
Perfectly well said. All right, let's take it to the next level. So I've now gotten up on foil and I'm foiling. So I'm struggling with staying upwind, but I'm on foil. So the main thing that's happening here that'll be like the best tip to help you, anytime you're on foil, anytime you're on any foil, doing anything, if I level off that foil and I'm completely standing there dead center, that foil can go any which way direction. So with the wing, the best advice we can give for sure is always have a little bit of pressure against the mast. So what that means is if I just tilted this board just a hair, or I tilt my foil just a hair, I always have a little bit of pressure driving into that mast, straight into that mast, so it's straight. The direct pressure is pushing right into that, so I'm not flat. If I'm flat, it can go any which way because I can't balance that. But if I have a hair bit of edge pressure into that mast, then my foil, when I push against it or I put my weight into it, it's going directly into the mast and I can steer it. Versus getting flat, it's a little unpredictable. So always have a little bit of angle. Obviously, if I angle even more, it's gonna go harder into the wind. But reality is, you can be mellow angle and still go into the wind, because all I would do is drive my back foot and turn the angle of the board. So it would turn more into the wind or take it downwind. It's just by taking your feet and your hips and shifting that board. But I would really recommend and always push to have that leverage wherever this mast is, your foil, your body be in direct line with it. So if I'm angled like this, I'm going to be angled like this. And it's a nice, comfortable power drive right into the board. And that's going to help you go upwind, versus if I'm bent over like this, I'm flat on the board, even though the wing's bent, I'm flat, so I'm uncontrollable. So I want to get the leverage, I want to get a little on angle, and I want to just feather my way into the wind. And if it starts to come up, I just kind of either relax the wing or I just shift my hips and turn that board. And the game is to keep your speed up and slowly keep eking your way into the wind. The other hard part that loses everybody is you may actually be going upwind. It's when you make your turn and you fall and you swim and you try to get back up and you just lost about 100 yards. And then you come back upwind the other way, but you didn't quite make it upwind because of those transitions. So that will come. Just take your time and enjoy it, but we'll let Gwen jump in here and say.
Yeah, I would say, okay, one of important thing that I've been thinking about is like, if for you guys that have been snowboarding before, it's kind of like that feel that if you snowboard straight downhill with your board flat, super unstable,
yep,
you might fall at any time. That's exactly how it is on the foil if you start going downwind with the board flat. Flat in this direction. So you want it always a bit angled, but you always want it flat like that direction. The board should always be flat, never like that. But side to side, always have kind of an edge, which is gonna give you more stability.
100%.
So yeah, I think once I'm up on the foil and I'm trying to go upwind, definitely keep an edge. Lean into it, and again, I think body twist and looking exactly where you want to go. Maybe not, you will have to see, maybe not so much back foot pressure than if your board is on the water, just because when you are up on the foil, back foot pressure could translate into the
lift,
foil
yeah,
coming up.
I'd say if anything, try to level off, try to really get into a center balance, and you can shift your feet. Then you're just nice and level on the board and it's more you steering your body.
Yeah, and something that I feel also is like when you ride switch, so toe side,
yep,
and you know how you really feel that like pulling in with back there,
yep,
to try to stay upwind.
Yep.
I feel like that there is some of that same thing when you actually just ride normally like hillside and you want to go upwind. There is that twist. And you're gonna have to pull icing on your backhand, just because as you angle into the wind, if you just release too much, then that wing is basically acting as a flag. It's just like straight into the wind. So the more upwind you're gonna go, you might have to pull a bit more to keep some tension,
yep,
tension into, yep, the wing.
Just remember, speed is your friend, even though in the beginning you don't think so, but speed will keep that foil moving, which also keeps you to glide through some lulls and puffs with the wing, which kind of helps you stay going upwind, because the more times you come off foil and start again, you lose a lot of ground. So you want to, once you get it up, you want to try to keep it up. So that's when, you know, what Gwen's saying is really staying with that wing and using your hips to try to just keep that board on foil and keeping that speed up so you don't drop down and have to start that pumping process again.
So something actually that I just thought about, which is a common mistake, we just talked about it, where like you are basically bent over. If we think about it, when we bend over like that with our body, upper body forward, do it right now and see where the pressure is on your feet.
Yeah, it's always on the front.
If you are in this position, now my weight is on my toes.
Yeah.
So what is the board gonna do? Is it flat or even going the other way?
Yeah.
Very unstable. You most likely are gonna fall at this point if you are up on the foil. So for sure, like lean into it, and if you lean into it, now where is your pressure? On your heels. Yeah. And so that's when you can, you know, keep an edge on the board and get more stability once you're up on the foil.
Beautiful. I would say, you know, most important thing is try to keep yourself on foil. Keep that speed up. Speed is going to be helpful for you. And then the other one is just really always keep a little bit of leverage, a little bit of edge pressure on that foil is really going to give you a lot more control. It's when you level it off, when you lose all control. And I think, you know, Gwen nailed the perfect analogy. It's just like a snowboard. If you get on a snowboard for your first time, you go and you're all flat, and then you catch an edge, bam, bam, we've all done it. That is exactly a foil. It'll go any which way direction. Actually, I'd say it'd go even more because it can go backwards or forwards. So it's just a really good analogy to see. Hopefully this helps you stay upwind, and please like and subscribe. We really appreciate you guys. Look, we're here. The more ideas, the more comments you guys give us, the more videos you want to see, we're going to make them. And hopefully this can be the best 2021 of your life. And I want Gwen to leave it with a message for everybody. What is one message you would give anybody out there right now to live their best 2021? What would it be?
Just do something fun. Do something that you love. And that might not be like, you know, let's say that's wing foiling, you know, standing wing foiling, you know, is amazing. It's hard. It can be frustrating, but just you have to keep in mind what's on the other side. I mean, to me, that was like, well, even when I started foiling, you know, it was so hard. And when you start foiling, it's kind of like, it almost brings you to like a beginner, where like maybe you were not a beginner kiting or something, and like you pick up a foil and you feel like a total beginner. But when you keep in mind what's on the other side of that commitment, you have to keep that in mind, and you're gonna get through the other side, and you're gonna have the most fun ever. I mean, foiling is, to me, the best thing ever, so you have to get into it.
And Gwen landed his first double back roll on a foil just a couple days ago. Absolutely awesome. After he did a bunch of kite loops and stuff, but he did land his first double back on a foil. So on that note, tell somebody you love them, give somebody a hug with your mask on. And thank you guys so much. Leave your comments. We got more videos coming. You.